The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, often referred to as the most formidable military unit in the Middle East, has the potential to ignite World War III. Comprising fearless troops equipped with ever-advancing weaponry, the IRGC has shown its formidable presence in the region. In a retaliatory act, the IRGC launched a drone and rocket attack on Israel. This aggressive move was triggered by Israel's unacceptable breach of diplomatic boundaries during its raid on the Iranian diplomatic mission in Damascus, Syria, which resulted in the deaths of 3 of Iran's highest-ranking generals. The IRGC executed this operation with precise calculations, deploying drones and guided missiles to target the military base housing the F-35 jets of the Zionist regime, aircraft that had participated in the assault on the Iranian embassy in Damascus. The president of Iran endorsed the IRGC's actions, framing them as a legitimate national defense. He clarified that the Revolutionary Guards did not target economic locations or civilian populations within Israeli-occupied territories, focusing solely on military and intelligence infrastructure. Additionally, the IRGC seized a container ship linked to Israel in the Persian Gulf. Major General Mohammad Bagheri, the IRGC's chief of staff, indicated that Iran had no plans to continue its offensive post this intensive attack, believing it sufficient retribution for Israel's actions. Despite declaring the operation complete, Iran issued a stern warning to the United States against supporting or engaging in any activities detrimental to Iranian interests. The IRGC also vowed harsh retaliation should the U.S. and Israel persist in their offensives. This episode has been labeled the True Promise Operation, a name stemming from previous warnings issued by the IRGC since late 2023 concerning potential retaliation for Israeli attacks. The operation resulted in an estimated $100 million in damages to Israel, prompting neighboring countries to temporarily close their airspace. The IRGC, characterized by international media as a brutal paramilitary force, comprises predominantly working-class soldiers prepared to die for their cause. Unlike typical military units that serve national interests, the IRGC champions a broader Islamic agenda, earning it a reputation for brutality against foes and fierce loyalty to allies. Known for its military training programs for Islamic militias like the Houthis in northern Yemen and its collaboration with Hezbollah, the IRGC is a key player in regional defense and staunchly supports the Palestinian struggle. The IRGC's actions and its pivotal role in the resistance axis in the Middle East, often antagonizing the United States, Europe, and Israel, underline its capacity as a force capable of triggering a major global conflict. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, or IRGC, was established in 1979, a few months after the Islamic Revolution in Iran successfully overthrew the government of Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. The primary goal behind the formation of the IRGC was to safeguard the ideology of the Islamic Revolution and the new regime led by Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. This force was intended to supplant Iran's conventional military, perceived as loyal to the old regime. Initially, the IRGC was tasked with protecting the revolution from counter-revolutionary elements. They subsequently engaged in guerrilla warfare against foreign and pro-Shah forces during the Iran-Iraq War from 1980 to 1988. They later got involved in the ongoing Syrian civil war that began in 2011. Over the years, the IRGC underwent modernization and expanded its role. They honed their military capabilities and embraced modern technology. Beyond military duties, the IRGC has also been involved in various economic sectors, ranging from oil and gas projects to construction and telecommunications, amounting to billions of dollars. This includes involvement in defense business and industries. Their economic might is not their only strength. They also wield significant political power, with many members of President Ebrahim Raisi's cabinet being former IRGC officers. The organizational structure of the IRGC is intricate. The supreme leader of Iran, currently Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, is the highest-ranking commander of the IRGC. The Corps comprises several divisions, including the IRGC Ground Forces, the IRGC Aerospace Force, the IRGC Navy, the Elite Quds Force, and the Basij Militia. The Quds Force is a specialized unit responsible for conducting covert and foreign operations in the interest of Iran. This force is notably involved in various wars, such as the Soviet-Afghan War, the 1982 Lebanon War, the Bosnia War from 1992 to 1995, the South Lebanon conflict between 1985 and 2000, the Battle of Herat in 2001, the Balochistan conflict, the 2014 Northern Iraq offensive, the Iran-Pijak conflict starting from 2004, and the military intervention against ISIS. The Quds Force is a specialized unit responsible for conducting covert and foreign operations on behalf of Iran. This force is renowned for its involvement in several wars, including the Soviet-Afghan War, the 1982 Lebanon War, the 1992 to 1995 Bosnia War, the South Lebanon conflict from 1985 to 2000, the 2001 Battle of Herat, the Balochistan conflict, the 2014 Northern Iraq offensive, the ongoing Iran-Pijak conflict since 2004, and military intervention against ISIS. The primary role of the Quds Force is to support Iran's allies worldwide and to advance and protect Iran's ideological agenda on the international stage. Their operations span covert activities, military aid, training, and logistics for groups that align with Iranian interests, mainly in the Middle East, including countries like Lebanon, Iraq, and Yemen. Significantly, they played a pivotal role in establishing Hezbollah in Lebanon in 1982. Furthermore, they oversee the Basij division, which mobilizes civilian volunteers or a voluntary paramilitary force loyal to the religious establishment. This force is often called upon to suppress anti-government protests. During the 1980s war, this Basij division launched human wave attacks against Iraqi forces. While officially recorded at 60,000 personnel, many analysts believe the number of active Basiji volunteers might exceed 1 million. Currently, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, holds a central role in Iran's foreign policy and security affairs. They support Iran's allied groups in the Middle East, particularly in Syria, Lebanon, and Iraq. Additionally, they are instrumental in missile technology development and are a potent force in Iran's domestic politics. As of 2022, data suggests the IRGC trains at least 210,000 active military personnel annually, with an additional paramilitary force of 60,000. For their defense budget, the last known figure from 2020 was $6.96 billion, considerably higher than the military budget of the Islamic Republic of Iran Army, which was only $5.5 billion. As for the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps' ground forces, they have 150,000 personnel. However, the weapons they use are combined with those used by the National Army of Iran, with a total asset of 69,685 vehicles. This includes 4,071 tanks, 580 self-propelled artillery, 2,050 towed artillery, and 1,085 rocket artillery units. From 1925 to the Iranian Revolution in 1979, the primary suppliers of their weaponry included countries like the United States, the United Kingdom, France, West Germany, Italy, Israel, and the Soviet Union. Shifting our focus to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps' Navy, it's estimated to have over 20,000 naval personnel. Their primary warship is the domestically built Shahid Soleimani-class missile corvette, a relatively new addition that first became operational on September 5, 2022. For fast attack vessels, they utilize an array of ships sourced from China, including the Shahid Madavi, Shahid Cord, Shahid Shafiei, Shahid Tavasoli, Shahid Hojatzadeh, Shahid Dara, Shahid Absalan, Shahid Raisi, Shahid Golzam, and Shahid Sorabi classes. Also, they have an Iranian-made vessel named Shahid Ruhi, which is also a recent addition. They also operate amphibious ships designed for naval operations and troop landings along coastlines. These ships include the Hijaz and Karbala, made in the Netherlands, and the Farsi, Sardasht, and Sab Sahel, manufactured in South Korea. In terms of transport ships, they employ the Nasser 111, Nasser 112, Nasser 113, and Shahid Siavashi. Interestingly, Iran also possesses a category of special ships known as the high-aspect ratio twin-hull vessel, like the Shahid Nazari. This kind of ship has two long and narrow hulls, creating a high aspect ratio between the ship's length and width. Because of its high aspect ratio, the vessel has two relatively slim hulls with a large length-to-width ratio. This high aspect ratio allows the ship to sail stably in rough waters such as open seas. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps' Navy also has sea-based ships like the Shahid Rudaki and Shahid Mahdavi. Additionally, they are equipped with 21 patrol boats. Some of these are the Azarakh, made in China, Peikap Wurst or Zoljana, made in North Korea, Tarig from Sweden, Ashura, made in Iran, Ashura 33 from Italy, Cougar, made in the UK, among several others. Now let's delve into their Air Force. The Air Fleet of the IRGC boasts a personnel strength of 15,000 members. Their combat aircraft fleet includes Russian-made Sukhoi Su-22 and Sukhoi Su-25 jets. For transportation purposes, they utilize the Soviet-made Ilyushin Il-76TD, Ukraine's Antonov N-74 TK-200, China's Harbin Y-12-2, and the French-made Dassault Falcon 20F. When it comes to helicopters, their arsenal consists of the Tufan 2, Hesse Shahed 285, Hesse Shahed 278, and Hesse Shahid 274, all manufactured in Iran, in addition to the Russian-made Mi-17. In the realm of unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has an impressive lineup of domestically developed drones, including the Ababil, Mohajer I/2/3/6, Karar, Shahed 129, Yasser, and Seghe. Furthermore, they are equipped with a wide range of missiles, especially ballistic missiles. Experts consider them to be the largest force in the Middle East, directly overseeing Iran's ballistic missile program. The Missile Corps takes great pride in possessing the Fajr 3 Merv, Shahab 3, Gadr 110, Ashura, Sejil, Simorg, Emad, Khorramshahr, Hovizeh, Dezful, Rod 500, Haj Qasem, and the most recent addition, the hypersonic ballistic missile named Fata. Not stopping there, since 2020, the IRGC's Aerospace Force, which also houses the Space Command, has made significant advancements by launching their very own space program. They successfully sent their first military satellite, Noor, into orbit, and on September 27, 2023, they followed this up by launching another military satellite, Noor 3, which now orbits 280 miles above the Earth's surface. This development has raised concerns among many countries, notably the United States and Israel. On this matter, the United States and the European Union have long labeled Iran as a terrorist state. In 2020, the United States carried out a drone strike in Iraq that resulted in the death of its top commander, Major General Qasem Soleimani. His death raised alarms about potential large-scale conflict, especially after a senior commander commented that killing all American leaders wouldn't suffice as retaliation for Soleimani's assassination.
After years of crippling international sanctions impacting the Iranian military's ability to modernize, Iran became heavily reliant on light infantry and special forces. These forces played a crucial role in providing security in the troubled border areas. In the army, there was the 65th Airborne Special Forces Brigade, which was later renamed to the 23rd Airborne Special Forces Brigade post-Iranian Revolution. It is more commonly known as Brigade No Head. This is the Iranian Army's Airborne Special Forces Unit, established in 1959 as part of the Iranian Special Forces. As we know, the relationship between Iran and the United States is very disharmonious. However, if we discuss history, before the 1979 Iranian Revolution, No-Head was once trained by the United States Special Forces and also by the British SAS. To this day, No-Head still adopts the American-style green beret, and its unit emblem is also quite similar. No-Head is divided into 4 main units: hostage rescue, psychological operations, support, and warfare. According to the US Defense Intelligence Agency, it is the most elite special forces unit in Iran with just 5,000 personnel. To join this elite force, nicknamed the Strong Ghosts, one must first pass initial training involving training in deserts, forests, snow, sea, and mountains. Then they move to specialization training. For instance, the hostage rescue unit undergoes bomb disposal training that also involves espionage, reconnaissance, and telecommunications. For weaponry, No-Head is equipped with the Iranian-made MPT-9S, CZ-75 pistols, and AK-103 rifles. Talking about operational history, this brigade has been extensively used for hostage rescue and counter-terrorism purposes in Iran. Its first combat experience was in the Oman Civil War, followed by participation in various operations in the 1980s Iran-Iraq War. But the most phenomenal operation, earning them the nickname the Strong Ghosts, took place in the 1990s, where 2 battalions from the brigade were tasked to infiltrate and control key military and political centers in the capital. This mission was completed in less than 2 hours. Due to its reputation, No-Head personnel were heavily deployed in the Syrian civil war in 2011. However, unofficial Syrian sources reported that this unit lost 30 personnel in the operation. In the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy, there is an elite unit known as the Sepah Navy Special Force, SNSF. This is one of the special naval units stationed on the Greater Faroe Island in the Persian Gulf. The SNSF comprises Marine, Frogman, and Sniper units specializing in helicopter, amphibious warfare, and naval operations. Its personnel train for combat preparation, direct action, counter-terrorism, special reconnaissance, underwater demolition, amphibious assaults, hostage rescue, and visit, board, search, and seizure operations. One of their missions is to protect Iranian commercial vessels. SNSF personnel have been deployed to the Gulf of Aden to support Iranian anti-piracy operations. Specifically, in 2012, this unit conducted a 117-day operation in the Gulf of Aden to combat piracy off the coast of Somalia. Interestingly, the SNSF collaborated with their arch-enemies, the American forces, in this operation. For armaments, the SNSF uses the Iranian-produced 9mm Tondar SMG, along with the Spanish-manufactured Star Model Z-84 submachine gun AKM-7, 62 X-39 Inemi, and AK-103 rifles. To join, each soldier must undergo and pass a highly rigorous training test, with the prerequisite that the soldier has served in the Navy for at least 2 years. From the selection process, only 10% of Iranian soldiers become members of the Sepah Navy Special Force. From the selection process, only 10% of Iranian soldiers become members of the Sepah Navy Special Force. Besides the SNSF, the Islamic Republic of Iran Navy also has a special force known as the Marine Brigade. This brigade is one of the top special units in the Iranian armed forces and is divided into 3 units, each based at different locations. The 1st Marine Brigade, also known as the Imam Hossein Brigade, is based in Bandar Abbas. It operates in the Persian Gulf and can operate up to 3,000 kilometers from its headquarters. Then there's the 2nd Marine Brigade, or Hazrat Rasul-e-Akram Brigade, based in Jask, Hormozgan Province, and the 3rd Marine Brigade, or Hamza Sayyid Ush Shuda Brigade, based in Konark, Sistan, and Baluchistan Province. This unit primarily operates in the Gulf of Oman. Regarding capabilities, according to the United States government, the Marine Brigade of the Islamic Republic of Iran Navy is likely trained in various skills, including combat diving, parachuting, amphibious assaults, airstrikes, underwater demolition, special reconnaissance, maritime security including search and seizure operations. Apart from the Special Forces Army Unit Brigade Nohed, the Islamic Republic of Iran Army actually has many Special Forces units, such as Brigade Sabirun. After the Iran-Iraq War, Iran saw the need to form a Special Forces unit capable of conducting difficult combat operations from land, sea, and air. Brigade Sabirun has a close relationship with other special forces of the Iranian armed forces, particularly with Brigade Nohed, which has received regular training from them since its establishment. However, its duties and functions differ from Brigade Nohed. The specialties of Brigade Sabirun include raids, hostage rescue, helicopter assaults, counter-terrorism operations, and special reconnaissance. The Sabirun unit organizes its command forces based on 3 levels: Rapid Response, Special Response, and Special Operations Forces. This unit is also considered one of the best special forces units in the Iranian armed forces, with decades of military and combat experience both domestically and in foreign operations in neighboring countries, despite being a relatively new unit. It is also one of the most exclusive forces with at least 6,000 members who are the best and most capable in the land, air, and sea forces. Along with members of the Quds Force and the Marines of the Sepah Navy Special Force, Brigade Sabirun is nicknamed a top-tier unit and the best soldiers in the Corps. As a strong ideological military force, becoming a member of Brigade Sabirun requires 2 important qualifications. First, belief, loyalty, extremism, and ideological commitment to the Republic. And second, strict technical knowledge and combat skills on the battlefield. Sabirun is also known for its special emphasis on sniper training, making this unit particularly renowned for having the best snipers in the Iranian armed forces.
گاهی سردمداران رژیم صهیونیستی ما رو تهدید هم میکنن غلطی از اونها سر بزند جمهوری اسلامی تل آویو و حیفا رو با خاک یکسان خواهد کرد.
Sayyid Ali Khamenei. He was the 3rd president of Iran, serving from 1981 to 1989. He holds the record for the longest serving head of state in the Middle East, and is also the 2nd longest serving leader in Iran after Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. Ali Khamenei served as president 3 decades ago, which means it has been a very long time, but why does his influence still persist today? It's because Ali Khamenei is the supreme leader of Iran. He is the head of state and the highest political and religious authority, ranking above the president. Everything, including the armed forces, judiciary, state television, and significant government organizations, is subject to the supreme leader, whose tenure lasts for a lifetime. But who is Ali Khamenei and how did he become Iran's supreme leader? Speaking of his lineage, his father was a scholar and mujtahid born in Najaf, a city in central Iraq. There's no prominent name following him. However, Khamenei's ancestors are reportedly descended from Sultan ul-Ulama Ahmad, known as Sultan Sayyid, a grandson of the 4th Shia Imam, Ali ibn Hussein. During the reign of Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, the king of the Iranian Empire, Khamenei was arrested 6 times before being exiled for 3 years. After the Iranian Revolution overthrew the Shah, Khamenei was the target of an assassination attempt that left his right arm disabled. But what was Khamenei's role in the revolution that made him a target for assassination? In fact, Khamenei was a confidant of Ruhollah Khomeini, the leader of the Iranian Revolution that overthrew Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi and ended Iran's monarchy in 1979. Here is where many people get confused, conflating Khamenei with Khomeini. The leader who transformed Iran into an Islamic republic was Khomeini. He was highly critical and outspoken against the Shah's programs, which eventually inspired anti-government riots. As a result, Khomeini was imprisoned in 1963. After a year in prison, Khomeini was forcibly exiled from Iran in 1964. He then settled in al-Najaf in Iraq. It was during his exile that Khomeini gained many followers and began building a strong and influential network that played a crucial role in the overthrow of the Shah. Khomeini's influence in Iran grew dramatically as public dissatisfaction with the Shah's regime increased. In 1979, the ruler of Iraq, Saddam Hussein, forced Khomeini to leave Iraq, leading him to settle in Paris. On the other hand, the young Ali Khamenei, a loyal follower of Khomeini, took over Khomeini's role. Starting in 1963, Khamenei actively participated in protests against the monarchy, which led to his imprisonment by the Iranian security services several times until the outbreak of the Iranian Revolution. Shortly after the fall of Mohammad Reza Pahlavi in 1979, Khomeini returned to Iran. Khamenei was then appointed as a member of the Revolutionary Council. After the dissolution of the Revolutionary Council, Khamenei became the Deputy Defense Minister and Khomeini's personal representative in the Supreme Defense Council. Shortly thereafter, Khamenei also led the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, an armed force established by Khomeini to protect the power of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Following the success of the Iranian Revolution, Khamenei became a member of the Revolutionary Council, the Imam of Friday Prayer in Tehran, and Deputy Minister of Defense. He was later elected as Tehran's representative in the Islamic Consultative Assembly for one term. Khamenei was also one of the founding members of the Islamic Republic Party, the ruling party in the early post-revolution Iran. In June 1981, Khamenei narrowly escaped an assassination attempt by the Mujahideen-e-Khalq, a rebel organization in Iran that also killed President Mohammad Ali Rajai 2 months later. The attempt occurred while Khamenei was delivering a speech. Surviving the assassination attempt, Khamenei had to undergo several months of treatment due to the loss of function in his right arm. After the death of President Mohammad Ali Rajai in an explosion, Khamenei was appointed as the General Secretary of the Islamic Republic Party, and within a few weeks became a presidential candidate in the IRP. He was elected president in October 1981 with a 97% majority vote and was re-elected in 1985. During his tenure, the presidency was largely ceremonial, as executive authority was held by the Prime Minister. Now the question arises, how did Khamenei ascend to become the supreme leader of Iran? This began in 1989 when Khomeini dismissed Ayatollah Montazeri as his political successor due to frequent disagreements, and the position was given to Khamenei. After Khomeini's death in June 1989, the Assembly of Experts elected Khamenei as the new supreme leader. However, since Khamenei was not a Marja, which is the highest title among Shia clerics, and not an Ayatollah, which is a requirement to become the leader of Iran, Khamenei was initially appointed as the interim supreme leader of Iran. The constitution was then amended to remove the requirement that the supreme leader must be at least a mujtahid, or jurisprudence scholar, making it sufficient for Khamenei to become the supreme leader. This change effectively allowed for Khamenei's election. Additionally, Khamenei was promoted overnight from the clerical rank of Hujjat al-Islam to Ayatollah. The Assembly of Experts reconvened to affirm Khamenei as the supreme leader of Iran, with 60 out of 64 votes present. Khamenei has ruled Iran for more than 3 decades, and now he is suffering from a severe illness after years of declining health, potentially leading to a power vacuum in the Islamic Republic. But what happens if Khamenei passes away? This is an intriguing question. According to the Constitution of the Islamic Republic, the supreme leader is selected by the Assembly of Experts. This assembly comprises 88 mujtahids elected through direct public voting for an 8-year term. However, the members of the assembly must first be vetted by Iran's constitutional watchdog, known as the Guardian Council. Here's the problem. The members of the Guardian Council are directly or indirectly appointed by the supreme leader. So even though the Assembly of Experts is elected by the Iranian people, the supreme leader still has a significant influence and is likely able to intervene. Indeed, over the past 3 decades, Khamenei has ensured the election of conservatives in the assembly who would follow his guidance in choosing his successor. According to the constitution, the supreme leader should be an ayatollah. However, when Khamenei was elected, he was not an ayatollah, so the law was changed to accommodate his appointment as the supreme leader. Therefore, it's possible that the law may be amended again, depending on the political climate when it's time to choose a new leader. One potential candidate currently is the incumbent president Ebrahim Raisi, given his assumed closeness to Khamenei. Again, as the supreme leader, Khamenei is the most powerful political authority in the Islamic Republic of Iran. Khamenei is the head of state of Iran, the supreme commander of the armed forces, and has the power to issue decrees and make final decisions on major government policies in various fields such as economy, military, environment, foreign policy, and national planning in Iran. Starting from Khomeini, the supreme leaders of Iran began to establish non-state regime networks to protect their regime. Khamenei has also called for oppressed communities around the world to unite and has incited Shia groups in regions outside Iran to rise against Western-backed rulers. Hence, Khamenei led his regime in cooperating with non-state partners, especially Shia groups in Lebanon, Yemen, and Iraq. However, during Khamenei's rule, peace has not always prevailed. There have been significant protests during his government, including the protests in Qazvin in 1994, and even now, there are protests demanding Khamenei's resignation. No one is allowed to oppose Khamenei, including the president. For instance, a feud once occurred between Iran's president Ahmadinejad and Khamenei. Ahmadinejad wanted to establish his own network within key ministries loyal only to him, not to Khamenei. He aimed to ensure the election of candidates from his political faction. However, this led to the downfall of Ahmadinejad's power. In essence, no matter how much support the clergy gave to Ahmadinejad, once Khamenei made it clear that he intended to effectively revoke the president's power, the clergy shifted their full support to whoever held the position of the supreme leader. In this case, Ahmadinejad made a mistake by assuming the president had full power over Iran.